On Bloomberg TV's wrap-up show on Thursday, What Did You Miss?, Joe Wiesenthal presented an interesting chart, wood versus wood. He compared the performance over the last year of the iShares Global Timber and Forestry ETF with the symbol WOOD, which is up about 91% over the last 12 months, with the performance of Cathie Wood's flagship Ark Technology ETF, symbol ARKK. We thought it might be interesting to take a look at the cost of hedging both ETFs and see what that might tell us about their prospects going forward. So we'll open up the portfolio on our iPhone app, and first we'll go ahead and we'll type in WOOD, the symbol for wood, and we'll enter in 100 for shares owned. And here's a test we like to do just to get a quick gauge of risk. We see if it's possible to hedge against a greater than 9% decline over approximately the next 6 months. That's what our default timeframe expiration goes for. The closest options expiration is 6 months out. In this case, for wood, that's November 19th, and the cost of hedging wood against a greater than 9% decline over that time frame was 7.84% of position value, or annualized 14.61%. Let's try to do the same thing with Ark. Now we do that and we find we're not able to. No optimal put is available given the parameters. You entered, net cost exceeds threshold. What that means is the cost of protecting against a greater than 9% decline over the next several months in Ark was more than 9% of position value. So let's try hedging against a larger decline, say 20%. Now the first thing you'll note here is it's a different expiration date. It's December 17th for Ark. But again, we're tracking annualized cost too, so that enables us to compare apples to apples. The annualized cost as a percentage of position value of hedging Ark against a greater than 20% decline over the next 6 months, roughly 7 months, was 17.75%. If we try the same thing with wood, the annualized cost as a percentage of position value was 6.43%. So, what does that tell us? It tells us that as far as the option market participants are concerned, there's more of a risk of Ark declining more than 20% over the next several months than there is of wood. Wood is considered by them, by the amount they're bidding on these options, it's considered to be less risky than Ark. What about the prospects of wood's upside? What can we kind of infer from hedging costs on that? For that, let's scan for an optimal collar on wood over the same time frame, capping our possible upside at 20%. Here, the annualized cost as a percentage of position value is 5.74%. And if you look at the call leg here, it's very little income you get for selling call options that far out of the money on wood over that time frame. Income as a percentage of position value was 0.68% annualized. Let's try the same thing with Ark. So a few taps later, what do we find? Well, annualized income as a percentage of position value for the call leg, the short call leg on Ark, is 9.17%. And the overall annualized net cost of the collar is less, 2.71%. So what does that tell us? It tells us that while option market participants seem to believe wood is less risky than ARK over the next several months, they also believe that wood is less likely to post a significant return, a high return, like say over 20% over the next several months, than ARK is. So basically, according to the options market participants, wood is the less risky ETF, but also less potential upside over most of the rest of the year. Something to consider if you've been looking at one of these ETFs for your portfolio. And of course, you can also use this tool to scan for hedge to protect yourself in the event that the market goes against you or one of these ETFs declines after you've bought it.